Welcome back to our house. We have been loving doing life in this setting, spending Sundays together, watching it within the week as well. We're just grateful for what's been going on and spending time together and speaking into each other's lives as well. We just hope you can enjoy today, sing along with us, invite you into this setting where we can just be peaceful and we can sit in his presence. Just sing with us today. Sing worthy. Worthy of every song I could ever sing, worthy of all the praise we could ever bring, worthy of every breath we could ever breathe. We live for you. Jesus, the name above every other name. Jesus, the only one who could ever save. Worthy of every breath we could ever breathe. We'll live for you. 'Cause holy, there is no one like you. There is none beside you. Open up my eyes in wonder and show me who you are and fill me with your love and heal me. Worthy of every song we could ever sing, worthy of all the praise we could ever bring, worthy of every breath we could ever breathe. We live for you. Jesus, the name above every other name. Jesus, the only one we could ever save. Worthy of every breath we could ever breathe. We live for you. Oh, we live for you. Let's sing holy. 'Cause holy, there is no one like you. There is none beside you. Open up my eyes in wonder and show me who you are and fill me with your love and heal me. Upon your, it is a firm foundation, and I will put my trust in you alone, and I will not be shaken, 'cause I will put my life upon your love. It is a firm foundation, and I will put my trust in you alone. one beside you. Open up my eyes in wonder and show me who you are, and fill me with your Lord, and fill me with your love to those around me. Fill me with your love tonight. Fill us with your love tonight. We want your love. Fill us with your love tonight. We want to follow you, Lord. Fill us with your love. Lead us with your love tonight. 'Cause I will build my life upon your love. It is a firm foundation, and I will put my trust in you, oh Lord, and I will not be shaken. I will not be shaken. I will not be shaken in your love. I will not be shaken within your love. I will not be shaken.
We live in a world that's in conflict. It's sad to say, but it's impossible for us to ignore the fact. There's conflicts between nations, conflicts between neighbours, conflicts within families, conflicts within self. Maybe you see an area in your life where there's conflict. The one thing we all know is that we all hate conflict. So surely, if we knew why it existed, what fueled conflict, we'd look to stop it, right? So why all the conflict in the world? Well, God tells us through James's letter that the root of our warring is an evil story within me. And its essential shape is, I want what I don't have. I want what you've got. This is the story, if you will, the why behind our warring. It's evil desires that war within me. It says you must have, and when I give it voice, when I come into agreement with it, then I permission its outworking and I start grabbing and taking and scheming to get from others what I don't have. And so I fight and wage war, and conflict erupts. This war within me is fueled by the shaping story of consumerism that so deceptively and destructively drives our society. Consumerism works on the principle of making me feel that I am in lack, and it drives the desire of want within me. Creating lack and want are necessary ingredients in the sustaining and perpetuating of capitalist societies that we live in. Or as one author put it, Gregory A. Boyd, he puts it, consumerism thrives on us remaining discontent with what we have. I lack what I want. I lack what you have, and I want it. I must have this thing in order to be satisfied. I invite you to see how these key storylines shape the society in which we live and how much they pervade and invade our lives. And not only is it the language of lack and want, but then it turns and tells me that I deserve to have the thing that you have. And lack and want and deserve create this toxic story within me that judges and fuels jealousy that erupts in conflict. God wants us to see that these are evil. These desires in us are evil, and they create war within us. Yet we all know their voices. We know their drive, their influence. And I invite you to see that this war within us is being fueled nowadays by the increase in the ways we communicate and the intimacy of our communications. You know, the various platforms that we use to communicate, Facebook, Instagram, you know them, have increased the ways we communicate, but not only the ways we communicate, but the what we communicate, the intimacy of the details we communicate. The more I see what you're wearing, where you're going, what you're eating, what your body looks like, who you're with, what others are saying about you, the more I see into your life, the greater and louder and more directive these evil demands fuels this war within me that I must have what you have. And so I come out fighting. And then there's this new era of marketing, these people that you don't know that seem to know you and what you want, and they incessantly send you messages to drive the story of lack of want and desire. I mean, do you get these messages in your feeds where you go, how do they know that I want that thing? They turn up in the most bizarre places and they tempt us and seduce us to desire, to want, to lack. Friends, we're inviting war into our lives. When you click onto the lives of others, when you see the feeds that come from the who knows where, when you receive them into your lives, you can feel these stories being fueled. And they stir into this cocktail of envy and jealousy and must have. And then that drives us to conflict, both internally and externally. The Croatian theologian Miroslav Volf, not sure if I got that right, but he challenges us with this: when the best life we can hope for is our satisfied self, when the best life we can hope for is our satisfied self, then we will quarrel, fight and kill to satisfy self. When life becomes all about satisfying our desires for what we want to have, then we'll fight and quarrel and war to get our hands on this satisfied life. And if that means taking it from you, so be it. I deserve it. I mean, James wrote this warning 2,000 years ago. This is not a new issue facing humanity, but far from conquering this evil within, we're fueling its voice. And I also want to point out that this desire for satisfied self, if it's ever achieved, if you ever kind of get there, you'll find itself is dissatisfied by the morning when I see that new thing that you have, that I want, that I deserve. We need to see clearly that this wanting what we don't have is a bottomless pit that is exhausting us in an endless effort to satisfy its demands without ever reaching satisfaction. Friends, it's not what we were designed for. It's a lie that's shaping our lives and causing conflict. The satisfied self is not the story of our lives. It's not the destination of our lives. It's a fantasy island that doesn't exist. God designed us for more. God designed us to find life in Him, not in the things we can get, but a life that walks in the intimacy and the beauty of being alive and accepted and loved in Him. And then He sends us out to give ourselves away to others. You see, when we live in a spiritual wasteland where satisfied self is the story that shapes us, then we'll gather around the screen and put our hope in the lotto balls falling in our favour, rather than gathering around the promises of God and realising His favour has already fallen upon us. God knew the conflict that would erupt if we chased after the satisfied self. So instead, He created us to be satisfied in Himself. and then he sends us full to give ourselves to others. The fullness of life we desire is far from being found in satisfying self. It's found in giving self, giving myself to God, and then from his intimacy, giving myself away to others. It's not a story of get what you've got. It's a story of me giving you what I've got. And far from leading me to jealousy and fighting and conflict, it leads me to live in generosity and into the bold and brilliant, expansive life where others are my focus. I mean, this is the true life we're craving for, to be loved by God and to love others. The truth is that the call of God to live without the driving passions of want, and in the story of our outrageous generosity, is a call to freedom. While evil would seduce us into believing that possessing these things gives us life, the truth is that whatever we think we possess actually possesses us. The truth is that owning things does not give us life. It sucks the life out of us. The truth is that the perpetual hunger for more that drives capitalism and consumerism is a form of bondage that sends us to war. It's time we recognise its deception and stop the warring. William Booth, the founder of the Salvation Army, once sent a telegram to his troops on the front line to encourage them to stay focused on what's important. And because it was expensive in his day to send telegrams, he sent a single word: others. Others. Here is how we end conflict and quarrels and wars among us. We flip the story from satisfied self to serve others. Here's one of the many paradoxes of life that God invites us into. The best thing we can do for ourselves is decide to not live for ourselves. John Leonard wanted us to imagine there was no heaven. Well, I'm going to ask you tonight to imagine there is, and imagine we can bring that heaven to earth in the here and now. Imagine a world where we will live celebrating life, where I celebrate you and your life. Imagine a world where I desire to give rather than get. Imagine a world where jealousy and quarrelling are not required because I'm satisfied in God and not having to satisfy the evil desires of lack and want and self. Imagine a world where I'm wonderfully at peace with who I am and my life. Imagine a world where the war and conflict is over. Actually, don't imagine this world. Let us choose to enter into this world and bring this world, bring heaven into our earth. Let's take our God-given freedom of choice and choose deliberately when these evil impulses of lack and want and deserve and get enter our feeds and try and introduce our thinking to envy and jealousy and quarrel and war. Let's take them captive and make them obedient to the life that God has set before us. We cannot hope to see this world's change unless firstly we have been changed. Here's the thing. We want wars to end. None of us want conflict and quarrelling to be the story, to be part of our lives. But the impact we have here on earth can never outrun the transformation of God within us. So we must stop and say, God, change me. Then the wars will stop. So I want to give you an opportunity now to hear James' words, to hear what God has said about conflict in our lives, to allow the Spirit of God to show what needs to change in you. Then we're going to bring a prayer up on the screen. It's a repentance prayer. It's a prayer that invites you to change your mind, to flip the story from consumerism and capitalism and self to a story where we're loved by God, cherished by Him, and sent to others. Invitation now is to just let God speak to you and reshape you.
in your love. We want to follow you. Lead us in your love. We want to follow you. Lead us in your love. We want to follow you. Lead us in your love. We want to follow you. 'Cause I will build my life upon your love. It is a firm foundation. I will put my trust in you alone, and I will not be shaken. I will not be shaken. I will not be shaken. I will build my life on you and all you do. Lead us in your love. Lead us in your love. Lead us in your love. We will follow you. Lead us in your love.